guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my 18-week pregnancy update. I thought I would say first of all that last week, I don't know if anyone noticed, but I messed up on the thumbnail and I realized too late, and everywhere I wrote 17-week update except on the thumbnail I accidentally wrote 18-week. But this is my 18-week pregnancy update, so just want to clear up any confusion there. If you see me looking down, I've just got my notes on things that happened this week. Let's get started. So this week, I have to say, I started craving definitely sweets. Previously, it had kind of been mixed. I didn't really have only salt cravings or only sweet cravings. It was mixed. But in particular, I was craving strawberry shortcake this week. I'm gonna make it today. Other things that I noticed this week I had the sore breasts again, that it came back, and that hadn't really been bothering me too much before this week. I mean, not for several weeks, I would say, because obviously in the first trimester that was a huge thing. And then on 18 weeks and 3 days, I had sore nipples too. So luckily the padded bras really help with that, because that's uncomfortable. This week too, I've seemed to have had diarrhea, but I'm taking the probiotics, so hopefully it sorts that out. I know that just for me, that's something that comes and goes, but I also know that a lot of women have said that that's just something that happens even just in pregnancy. So I don't necessarily know if it's specifically pregnancy related or not, but regardless, that's been something annoying. Runny nose this week. I had, of course, allergies from the pollen. I have done an allergy treatment the last 3 years, and it's because I used to have a constantly stuffed nose. For 3 years, I would say, I wasn't able to breathe through my nose, so I did this treatment, and so it's fixed the congestion part, but I still have lots of sneezing and runny nose in the spring. I had a couple days this week, in particular 18 weeks and 4 days and 18 weeks and 5 days, where I just had a disrupted sleep. I just kept waking up. One of the nights I was trying to sleep on my side with a pillow behind me. This was 2 nights ago, and I could not properly stay asleep until 1:45 in the morning, I remember. So I'd been in bed for 2 hours, and then once I turned around onto my right side, then I fell asleep. Last night I made a tea, kind of a nighttime relaxing tea with my husband, and I slept really well. Let's see, so some exciting things this week. On Friday, when I was 18 weeks and 2 days, I felt the baby's first kick. So I had thought that I felt the baby awake in the evening. It had been super, super quiet all day. I hadn't really felt anything, honestly. But I thought in the evening, watching TV there, I thought I felt something move. So I poked my stomach a few times, and I got a kick straight out at my hand. It was so cool. And I don't know, then I was kind of concerned that I'd scared the poor thing, because then it seemed to be really active after moving a lot. And my mom had said, oh, maybe the baby learned to do some somersaults, possibly, or rolling or something. So that was really cool. I haven't felt that specifically again since then, that same feeling a limb comes out straight at my hand, but super neat. And the next day too, actually 18 weeks and 3 days, I felt 2 little kicks, just small, but super cool. That day I was a bit a bit emotional, a bit like melancholy, I would say, because I don't know, like I had turned on my tablet and I like to listen to all of the YouTubers that I watch and stuff and news stories in the morning on my tablet, but I don't know, that morning, like I had a bunch of like depressing videos about the coronavirus and I just didn't really feel like listening to them because they were just like depressing and it kind of put me into like a bit of a down mood. And then that afternoon, we were making some holes in our garden to plant our olive trees, but we had to knock down a persimmon tree, and I was so sad when I saw it get knocked down. It was a beautiful tree. Like, we didn't want to. It was just right in the middle of where we were wanting to plant our trees, and we had to move 2 cherry trees too. I don't know if those will survive because they didn't really have much of a root system actually. Because the dirt's like really hard and packed, and so they didn't really have a chance to develop much over like 10 years or however long they'd been there. But the persimmon tree was beautiful, and when I saw it fall down, I like totally burst into tears, like for 10 minutes. Like whenever I thought about the tree, I started to cry, and I texted one of my friends and I told her, I said, oh, those pregnancy hormones are like really hitting me today. I cried for 10 minutes over a tree that fell down, and she had written me, very normal. So, comes with the territory. On my app, of course I've mentioned this before, but I use Ovia. I also use Pregnancy Plus. I find that Pregnancy Plus seems to actually match the best with the baby's like measurements, because I find that between those 2 apps, Ovia always seems to be measuring smaller, and whenever I've done like the ultrasounds, it's totally like right on with where Pregnancy Plus says that my baby is. Like, in fact, one of them for today, because officially today I'm 19 weeks, there was like a 10 centimeter difference between the 2 apps, because one has started to count the legs at this point, but the other one has not. But anyway, I'm not going to get into anything because it's just turned over today, so to 19. So still talking about 18 weeks and 4 days I had written on Ovia app that I have begun to feel the baby on an almost daily basis. I say almost daily because some days like it's very, very quiet. Like I almost kind of go like, I don't know, you almost kind of get a bit worried because we're like, I don't know, even though I read that like the baby is sleeping for like 18 hours a day, like it's only awake for 6 hours every day now. So I mean, it depends like when the baby is awake, right? Maybe the baby's awake when I'm sleeping or like in the evening. And it kind of depends. Like some days I'll find that is more awake in like the day, like in the afternoon or in the morning. And other times I won't feel anything all day, but then I'll feel a bit at night. And I guess it just depends. Like it's 10:20 in the morning right now and I'm filming this, and I haven't felt anything yet today. But sometimes the movements are just very, very subtle too. So keep in mind too, like I have an anterior placenta, so I know that pads things anyway. So even though like maybe some people, if they have like the posterior placenta, they're probably able to feel like the movements a lot more. For me, they're still most of the time quite padded. Still, sometimes I like doubt that it's the baby just because I'm not sure. Whereas other times I'm like, oh, yes, that was the baby. 18 weeks and 5 days, which was on Monday. Like I had this pain behind my belly button in the evening, and like it made me like exclaim like out loud, like ow, for a couple of minutes and like hold my belly button, because it wasn't like a cramp. It was just like this weird pain that came up. Like I'm not even really sure how to describe it, but it had me sitting like straight up kind of, and I was on my computer and I was just kind of going there like, ow. And then after, for the rest of the evening, it like kind of remained sensitive, like sore. And then like after dinner, it was like slightly itchy for a couple of minutes. And I had kind of texted my mom and she wasn't really sure what it was, but was like, well, if you're concerned, you can call your doctor. But my husband was like, to be honest though, it's probably like your belly button stretching and growing because it's coming further out every like few days, I would say. I noticed it's coming out more. And so I've got this little bit on the top now that like is always slightly out, and even if I'm just standing up normally or sitting. And that actually makes sense. Like I looked it up kind of online briefly, and like it looked like a lot of people had that happen. So it must be just the stretching. And then actually I read today too, which this makes all the more sense, because I was under the impression that the uterus was still quite a bit lower than the belly button, because I'd heard like at 20 weeks it's as tall as the belly button, but like I'm only a week away from that, right? And when this was happening, I was like a week and a couple days away from 20 weeks. And so I read today on my app that at 19 weeks, actually, your uterus is like slightly above your belly button. And so I went, oh, that's interesting, because that would make all the more sense that I probably had that pain a couple days ago. It was probably growing, right? And then, of course, the apps are always like a guideline, really. So also the last couple of nights, so on Monday, but also on Tuesday, like Monday evening, this is kind of gross, but sometimes like, I don't think this is acid reflux, correct me if I'm wrong, but like where I felt like something, come back up into my throat after like I was getting up from laying down, because our couch like reclines, right? And so after watching TV, I got up and like I felt something kind of come up, like you throw up in your mouth a bit. Gross, but that happened that night. Then it happened on Tuesday morning. I rolled over in my bed to turn off the alarm. Same thing. And then also yesterday evening after dinner, so Tuesday, same thing. Throw up a bit in your mouth. I haven't had that happen to me in like a long time, actually. Sometimes it happens in the past, but like rarely. And I don't know, the last couple of days, it happened like 3 times in like a 24-hour period. I think that's pretty common too. I've seen like other YouTubers comment on that as well. So, and also I noticed the last couple days, I have now had a couple of occasions where I have trouble getting up if I'm laying like kind of far back, like, or maybe not even necessarily far back, but like if I'm just a bit more reclined, like I'll just kind of try to get up and I'll be like, oh, like I have to change the position that I'm getting up, which is funny because like I don't look like I even have that big of a stomach right now. Like if I look in the mirror in the morning, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, cause some days too, it looks bigger. Well, of course, always looks bigger at night than in the morning, but like some days too, it just doesn't look like that big to me yet. Like, sure, it's popping, but it hasn't like popped, right? I have 2 pairs of maternity leggings now, and they're both in the wash. They're both dirty. So today I'm wearing my normal leggings, which they do not stay up quite as well as the maternity leggings, but what can you do? So I ordered a couple days ago, I ordered some more maternity clothes though. I got a pair of like stretchy capris that I can wear if it's like warm out or if I need to do exercise. And I ordered a couple of shirts and another like nude nursing bra. I'm hoping that if I'm buying just nursing bras now, that it'll last me until like I actually need to use them for nursing. I don't know. My friend said to me the other day, oh, like I wouldn't be buying those now because you're gonna grow 2 to 3 sizes when you have to like breastfeed, and I went, holy cow, 2 to 3 sizes. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm buying them now because like I outgrew all my bras by 10 weeks. So like some of them, I would say like half of them by 6 weeks I was out of, and the rest of them I was out by 10 weeks. So I had done some research online, and people were like, you know, if it's possible to save some money, like you can totally just go straight to the nursing bras instead of like the maternity bras. And if all goes well, you should be able to wear them at the end. So this video is getting a bit long today, so I will end it here with my belly shot. Okay, so today, of course, I'm wearing like this loose top. Let's see. And I just measured my belly, and it says that I've grown now 1 more centimeter from last week. So I guess belly is growing, even though sometimes I'm like, is it growing enough? But everyone grows at like a different rate. So here we go. And then from the front, from the side again. All right. Thank you for watching my update. Subscribe to my channel if you want to join me on my journey. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.